choice in this world about how to tell sad stories. On the one hand, you can sugarcoat it. And nothing is too messed up that can't be fixed with a Peter Gabriel song. I like that version as much as the next girl does. It's just not the truth. This is the truth.
Hey, make some friends.
Sorry.
My bad. I'm Augustus Waters. I've been in remission for about 1.5 years.
Maybe you'd like to share some of your fears with the group.
Fears. Oblivion. What's your name?
Hazel.
What's your full name?
Hazel Grace Lancaster. Why are you staring at me?
Because you're beautiful. So, what's your story?
I was diagnosed when I was 13.
Your real story.
I am quite unextraordinary.
I reject that at the hand.
You know, Gus talks about you all the time.
We're just friends.
I hope you realize you trying to keep your distance from me in no way lessens my affection for you.
Gus, I'm a grenade. One day I'm gonna blow up. And I'm gonna obliterate everything in my wake. And I don't want to hurt you.
You don't get to choose if you get hurt in this world, but you do have a say in who hurts you. I am in love with you, Hazel Grace. And I know that love is just a shout into the void, and that oblivion is inevitable. And I am in love with you. All your efforts to keep me from you are gonna fail.
You're a hot mess.
Are you angry?
So angry.
You need a break sometime.
You gave me a forever within the numbered days. And I can't tell you how thankful I am for our little infinity.
It's a good life, Hazel Grace. Okay?
Okay.
You just push the little arrows at the bottom. I am a nerd, and I am proud of it. Can anyone relate? Well, hopefully most of you can, because being a nerd is super cool. That is why I write, because I want to celebrate intelligence. I want people to realize that there is more to people than what can be seen. All my characters are smart, but so much deeper than that. The stereotypical high school story is so overplayed. Why can't you be popular and smart? Because guess what? Smart is awesome. People don't fit into a category. People can't be labeled as a nerd or as popular. Why can't we be both? Nerdy makes you cool. Smart is awesome. My name is John Green, and I am known as many things: an author, a YouTuber, an inspiration. I was born in Indianapolis, Indiana, and as a child, my family moved a lot. I lived in small towns and huge cities, both of which I'm able to write in now. In high school, I attended a boarding school called Indian Springs.
Good morning, Hank. It's Tuesday, so we're undergoing a pretty significant office reorganization project. And along the way, I found a number of documents from my past, like this old picture of me. Good news, little me. Your braces are going to come off in 6 more years. I also found this somewhat newer picture of me. I'm not sure if this is a photograph, but it's definitely realistic. And from 2006, my favorite fan mail ever in regards to looking for Alaska. I can honestly say that after putting your book down, I felt a feeling that I had not felt before. It was not a sickness like I was going to throw up, or a feeling like I had to take a crap or anything, but I felt something. Your book made me feel something, man. Not the two major things I feel, the urges to defecate and vomit, but something new. And Hank, I also found from way back in 1994 some of my report cards. This is from my junior year of high school, Hank. I got a C- in Latin. John went into a tailspin in this course during the last 6 weeks. He missed too many classes and seldom was prepared for the daily lesson. Yeah, that's Latin. That's a dead language. This is from my French. Got a B- in French, not to brag. It's safe to say that John underachieved this year. American history, I got a B. John managed to get to class more often during the final trimester, and his grade came up a bit. It wasn't necessary to say a bit. Could have just ended it if my grade came up. technically accurate. I got a C- in pre-calc, which frankly was probably generous. Chemistry, C. And in English, I got a C-. Incredible potential as an English student, but he's reached a juncture where he just can't mail it in anymore. Hey, I don't talk much about what a terrible student I was in high school. I think partly because I'm still embarrassed about it 20 years later. I did miss a lot of classes, you know, because they were early or because they conflicted with my schedule of smoking cigarettes in the woods. But even when I attended class, I was still a pretty terrible student. Hank, you know how you become the third best C student in the entire state of Alabama at academic decathlon? First, by getting terrible grades, so you're not an A or B student. And that's who I was in high school. I underachieved and I skipped classes and I didn't do my homework and I didn't do the reading and I was always behind and stressed out. Meanwhile, Hank, you were getting great grades and not smoking cigarettes and then you'd get a scholarship to college and everything. Anyway, Hank, coming across these report cards made me think a couple things. The first is that I was incredibly lucky. Like, I didn't just get a second chance, I got hundreds of chances. And even though I was a crap student, I still had excellent teachers who continued to believe in me despite my not giving them a reason to. The other thing these old report cards made me think about, Hank, was this. High school is not destiny. It's part of life, but I feel like when you're in high school, people act like it's the most important thing you'll ever do, and like the whole course of your life is being decided. But at least so far as I can tell, the course of your life isn't decided, ever. Most of the time, it's not like there's like one fork in the road and you choose one or you choose the other. There are hundreds of forks in the road every day that you're alive. College is also not destiny. For the record, I was a much better college student than I was a high school student. Also, your 20s are not destiny. Your 30s are not destiny. Like, destiny is not something that happens all at once. It's something that happens only in retrospect. Hey, when I was in high school, I thought I was just kind of a screw-up, you know? But in the end, Hank, people aren't just one thing. Like, I was a screw-up, but I was also a pretty good reader. And looking at those old report cards, I just want to thank my teachers for knowing that I wasn't just a screw-up, even when I didn't know it. Hank, I'll see you on Friday.
I had always wanted to become a writer, but it never seemed like a very realistic dream. Until after college, when I started working for Booklist magazine. I reviewed hundreds of books every single day, and I started to realize that if these people could do it, so can I. My dreams seemed to get closer and closer, and I began working on my first novel, Looking for Alaska. Looking for Alaska. No, go to the... Looking for Alaska is a story about a boy named Miles who transfers to a boarding school and there meets many friends, including Alaska Young. The book follows Miles as he slowly falls in love with such a complicated girl who is dealing with her own demons. People have tried to ban this book many times because it involves teenagers doing things such as drugs, alcohol, and sex, but it was published in 2005. My next novel was Abundance of Catherines. This novel follows a young prodigy named Colin, who in the past is dating 19 different girls named Catherine. After the 19th Catherine dumps him, his best friend suggests a road trip. They end up in Gutshot, Tennessee, a small unknown town with a very small population. There they meet Lindsay, a teenage girl who Colin slowly but surely falls for. But he has many obstacles that are in the way of him being together. He thinks that he can only love Catherine, and Lindsay is dating a boy who she's not very happy with. They each have reasons they cannot love each other, emotional reasons. Their relationship develops and obstacles are jumped throughout the book, and by the end, they are together. And Abundance of Catherines was published in 2006. The next novel I wrote was Paper Towns. Q has always loved the girl across the street, Margot, and as high school grew to a close, they were practically strangers, until one night, Margot shows up at his window and asks for a favor. They end up driving around in Q's mom's minivan all night on a huge revenge plot, which includes getting back on Margot's ex and breaking into SeaWorld, with so many things in between. Q hopes that the next day will be different, that they will no longer be strangers, but that all changes when she goes missing the next day. Q feels as if it's his responsibility to find her, using small clues she left behind. He learns more and more about her as the book goes on and falls deeper in love with her than ever before. He never gives up. Paper Towns was published in 2008. Next, I did another book with another author, David Leviathan, called Will Grayson, Will Grayson. This book made it to number 3 on the New York Times bestseller list, but was remembered as the first book making it onto that list that featured a gay character. This follows 2 teenagers, both named Will Grayson, and how their worlds collided in a funny and romantic way, with, of course, many challenges. It was published in 2010. Now for my most recent and probably most popular book, The Fault in Our Stars. Once again, a love story with hardships, but this time with a girl main character. Hazel Grace, a cancer patient, meets and soon falls in love with Augustus Waters, another cancer patient. Their love is so deep, but they each have their own serious problems. She considers herself a grenade that can blow up at any moment and hurt everyone close to her, and he has no chance at survival. Yet, they love each other till the end. It was published in 2012. All my books have a smart character who may have been labeled a nerd, but are so much more, because smart is awesome. They all are overcoming so many challenges, emotional, mental, and physical, to love who they love. They act so strong. My brother Hank and I also have a YouTube channel called Vlog Brothers. You can get more information about me and my books there. I plan on continuing writing for teens because teenagers are still trying to figure out who they are in this world, and they are still open to the idea of one book changing their life. Now, speaking of the future, Paper Towns is becoming a movie this summer, and I would like to show you the trailer.
The way I figure it, everyone gets a miracle. My miracle was I wound up living across the street from Margot Roth Spiegelman. She was arguably the most gorgeous creature that God had ever created. Margot's life was a series of unbelievably epic adventures.
Are you gonna spend the rest of high school pining for this girl?
As senior year drew to a close, Margot and I were practically strangers. Until this one night.
What the? Margot?
I need to borrow your car.
What?
I have 9 things I need to do tonight.
Can't you just get your boyfriend to do it?
Ex-boyfriend. My boyfriend has been cheating on me. Revenge plot begins.
Not as weird as it looks.
Stop.
Can't believe you just did that.
Take the picture, now. Okay, now that was fun.
You feel my heart beating in my chest.
That is the way you should feel your whole life.
It's beautiful.
It's a paper town. Paper houses and paper people. Everything's uglier up close.
Not you. You think it's gonna be different in the morning?
I really hope so.
Margot always loved mysteries. Maybe she loved them so much, she became one.
She's gone.
When was the last time you saw Margot?
You were with her last night. It has to mean something.
There's something in Margot's window. She left little clues, like breadcrumbs.
I found something. I think she's sending you a message. Come find me.
We're trying so hard.
You'll go to the paper towns and you'll never come back. I think I know where she might be.
I'm going with you.
She's going. I'm definitely going.
Take a risk. Stop playing it so safe. Maybe that's what she's been trying to tell me the whole time.
What can I say? I'm on a mission. You love her, right? Yeah, I do. Everyone gets a miracle. My miracle is Margot Roth Spiegelman.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, Elise. Very nice. Well done. Let's give her a round of applause, guys.